everybody, to this week's episode of MTN Outdoors. I'm Andy Curtis. Now, the whole world was watching as historic floods just devastated the areas around Yellowstone, destroying roads both inside and outside the national park. But those areas are now rebuilding, and the iconic Beartooth Highway is officially reopened for business. We'll hit the road there, but first, did you know that there's a little hidden gem just south of Billings that combines nature and the history of this Montana icon? I didn't, but luckily for all of us, MTN's Russ Riesinger did, and he'll start things off this week by taking us there.
It's a place where you can find history, culture, or maybe just enjoy some quiet peacefulness.
We're sort of a hidden gem.
Chief Plentycoo State Park is located just outside Pryor, about a 35-mile drive south of Billings. It's where the last traditional chief of the Crow Nation made his home.
And so he signed paperwork in 1928 and that said on his death it would become a park where people can come and learn from each other. And so that happened in 1932 when he passed away.
The museum chronicles the incredible life of Plentycoo, who was known by several U.S. presidents and foreign leaders, and spoke at the unveiling of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in 1921.
We've got some really cool things here, especially the chief's rifle that was given to him by the Prince of Monaco, and Buffalo Bill Cody was actually there when it was presented to him. And then one of my favorite parts is over on the back wall where it actually has sort of a history of the tribe and different people throughout the tribe and moving all the way up into the present day. The very center, that first door, that's the original house.
Another thing to see in the park, Plentycoo's home. It's a National Historic Landmark, and you can walk around inside and check it out.
A lot of great history in it.
Next to it, the chief's general store. He didn't know how to read or write, but had his own unique way of keeping records.
Now, what he would do when people wanted credit is he would actually draw a picture of their names. So this guy's name is Harry Moccasin. This guy's name is Sees Among Many. This guy's name is Sits on a Fence.
This spring is considered a sacred spot by many of the Crow. It's the place where Chief Plentycoo had a vision when he was just a young boy of what was ahead, and that he would be the one to lead his people from the old ways to the new ways.
As you can see, and you get that sense of it's definitely a place where you can come to recharge and come to think and come to and just enjoy that quiet and that peacefulness.
In Pryor, Russ Riesinger, MTN News.
The Beartooth Highway has been closed since May because of snow and also the flooding, which damaged a good part of the road. They had several spots they had to fix, but some quick work and it's all ready to go, and a lot of people are pretty happy with how well that went. The Beartooth Pass reopened after the flood damage.
Our slogan is the base camp to the Beartooths, and this is the Beartooth. So being able to run over the Beartooth Highway and use Red Lodge as its base camp is a great attraction for us in the summertime.
Tim Weimer does marketing for the Red Lodge Chamber and says he's impressed with the work done by Riverside Contracting and the Montana Department of Transportation.
When you hear about a hole that is a minimum of 20 feet deep and cuts under the entire highway, and and the river's still running beside it, I mean, you just can't even imagine. It's just been amazing. Nobody would have believed it could happen this fast. And so we're just incredibly thankful to the contractor and the Montana Department of Transportation for the work that they've done.
The lady at the front of the line heard about the reopening in Red Lodge and was ready to make the trip.
Good twisties is what they call them. And to not have any traffic in front of me is a joy. I found out today. It's just happenstance. And sometimes things work out well.
Another tourist also just happened to be in Red Lodge at the right time.
A guy on our flight from Cleveland to Bozeman, and he said, make sure it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. So that's the reason we're going to try to do that.
And it's also a good drive for the locals.
I'm living in Red Lodge now, and I like to go to the park every now and then just for the day, and this is kind of exciting.
The Beartooth Pass is important for tourism in Red Lodge and Cook City.
They say they can tell the day that the pass opens, there's immediately more people in town and a lot more people coming through.
It's our playground, so it's awesome for us to have it open.
On the Beartooth Pass, David J., MTN News.
And now comes the part of our summer where we officially move into fire season, unfortunately. But fortunately, the residents of Silver Bow County have a plan. MTN's John Amy has our story.
Butte Silver Bow has initiated an update to its wildfire protection plan. And one priority is to protect one of its most important resources, its drinking water.
It's just a disaster area of fallen and standing dead lodgepole pine. So if we had a wildfire in this watershed, it would likely be a really high-intensity fire.
One part of the county's wildfire protection plan is to thin out the fuel around the Basin Creek Reservoir south of Butte, which can hold up to 364 million gallons of the city's drinking water. A wildfire in that area could contaminate the water with soot and debris and could damage the county's newly built water treatment plant.
The reservoir would likely have to be dredged. The pipeline between this reservoir and the water treatment plant could be plugged, so it could cause millions and millions of dollars worth of damage to this water supply and take a decade or more for this water supply to recover.
So far, the county's cleared out about 16 acres of timbered area around the reservoir. They've put them in these piles right here, which they plan to burn sometime in the fall when conditions are safer. They hope before the summer ends to clear out another 18 acres in the reservoir area.
Doing thinning, getting dead material up off the ground and put it into all these piles. It kind of opens up the forest and reduces the possibility of fire jumping from limb to limb.
Basin Creek Reservoir provides about 60% of Butte's water supply. The rest comes from the Big Hole River, the Moulton Reservoir north of Butte, and other smaller watersheds. Wildfire protection involves more than just water.
Areas where there's homes and structures that need to be protected, so that we'll be looking at areas where there's power lines and cell phone towers. So it's going to be a real collaborative effort.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
And guess what else loves water? Turtles. That's right, they're pretty fond of the wet stuff, it turns out. And that's not even the coolest thing about those shelled creatures. As MTN's Haley Monaco found out, there is a long list of very interesting facts about the slow but steady reptiles.
This is Roxy at Zoo Montana, and data collected on her was part of a national research study that found some very interesting information about turtles and tortoises and their environments that they live in.
Turtles, and the order of turtles, have the ability to essentially slow down their aging.
When you think of turtles, you may not think of a state like Montana, but data being collected here at Zoo Montana may change what we know about the reptiles. Zoo Montana, along with many other zoos and aquariums from around the world, are uploading data into a system known as ZIMS. That data was used to study 52 species of turtles and tortoises. The findings of a study now posted in the journal Science, turtles and tortoises may defy common evolutionary theories of aging.
It's been known that turtles and tortoises live a long time, but what hasn't been known is why is that? What in them allows them to live longer? And now with this data, we know they've got the ability to slow down that aging, which is incredible.
What could cause the ability to slow down aging? Researchers from Species 360 Conservation Science Alliance and the University of Southern Denmark say that it's the turtles and tortoises environments they live in. When living in zoo settings, they don't have the stress of predators and having to search for prey.
And in a situation like at a zoo, where they don't have to worry about all of those external stresses, that essentially is going to be that quote-unquote perfect environment where these guys can essentially sit back, they can focus on making sure they slow down that aging, and they can be around for a long, long time.
Out of the turtles and tortoises studied, 80% showed slower aging than modern humans. Some have been found to even stop aging. Although not immortal, this national study was a large step in answering why they can live for so long.
To be just a tiny fraction a part of this, that's what we're all about.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
Don't go anywhere, because coming up next, we'll see the endless possibilities for you to find your passions outdoors.
MTN Outdoors continues after this. We now return to MTN Outdoors.
Welcome back, everybody. There is a lot, and I really mean a lot, of things to do outdoors here in the state. And as our next few stories will show us, it doesn't matter who you are or what your skill level is, you shouldn't have any trouble finding your passion outside here in Montana.
There's a reason Montana is known as the Treasure State. And thanks to companies like Rock Climb Montana and people like owner Link Niemark, that reputation continues to be upheld.
I love climbing, so I like, with guiding, turning people on to the sport or teaching them new things in the sport.
And that love of climbing is something Niemark has been sharing since starting his company 15 years ago, here in the place he has come to call home.
There's really no place quite like it that offers as much different recreational activities. World-class skiing, world-class fishing, world-class hiking, and we've got some great local climbing.
While climbing isn't most often the #1 activity on most people's itineraries, Niemark says just about everyone ends up absolutely loving the experience.
We've had so many people say that the rock climbing was their highlight of their trip to Glacier. So if you can be the highlight of someone's trip to Glacier Park, that's pretty great.
Even with the hundreds of people he has the pleasure of guiding every summer, Niemark hopes to see more and more people step out of their comfort zone.
But I would like to see more people give it a try, because it really is for everyone.
Although climbing might not be the most traditional sport, it certainly offers all the adventure and adrenaline that one could ask for. In Keel, Carter Culver, MTN Sports.
Gosh, what a fabulous place.
A rip-roaring time was had at Echo Lake in Big Fork.
He's good, okay, coming around.
Ty Espeseth and his twin brother Griffin put on a show on water skis, ripping across the lake.
It's really nice being able to just kind of move around in like in a much faster way, in a way, because like you can only swim so fast in one way, and you also get a really good breeze.
Ty and Griffin were both diagnosed with autism at the age of 2. Thanks to Dream Adaptive, they are now outdoor enthusiasts all year long.
I get emotional, but the Dream program really got us started up on the mountain, which I've skied my entire life up there, and now we ski together, and Ty and Griffin are really good, strong skiers, and they love it.
Ty and Griffin's mom, Janet, sees her boys gaining confidence and important life lessons every time they recreate with Dream Adaptive.
We're really hopeful for them to have independence and find their way in this world. It just takes a little different path and a little more time, but you know, they're going to get there. But things like this, it matters and it helps.
Jody Colt had a fun time tubing with her 10-year-old daughter Marin, both smiling while making memories.
And this is Marin's first time ever doing any water sports like this, and she had a blast. They got us right on the tube the first thing when we walked out, and it was really awesome because we got to connect, and there was tons of high-fiving and yelling and cheering, and that was really special for us.
Jody says Marin loves the family atmosphere Dream Adaptive provides.
She said to me while we were eating lunch, she said, you know what, I just noticed that all of us out here have totally different abilities, and I think it's so cool because we're having fun.
Janet hopes Dream Adaptive continues to grow, creating more outdoor opportunities for individuals with disabilities in Northwest Montana and beyond.
It was really a small program when we started with it, and so it's pretty impressive now what the possibilities are.
In Big Fork, Sean Wells, MTN News.
Brain injury is an invisible injury, so a lot of times people just don't know about it. So the hikes are a great way to get that out there.
The Big Sky Challenge hike held its first fundraising hike in Kalispell to support the Brain Injury Alliance of Montana. The Brain Injury Alliance is a statewide nonprofit that is dedicated to prevention, advocacy, and support for brain injury survivors.
And we have a really active support group in Kalispell as well called Coffee with Survivors. And so we just thought it'd be super fun to get all of those folks. They're all hiking today, actually. Just sort of getting those folks out, getting engaged with that specific brain injury community.
Some of the hike participants were survivors and families of survivors, while others were hiking in remembrance of people lost to brain injuries. There were also some people who wanted to come out to support the cause.
Well, it's positive. It's positive because
it can often be an internal family matter that's just kept at home. So to have a situation where you can go and walk out and just be amongst various people, and you can just all be together and kind of do something simple in a beautiful setting, whilst, creating benefit.
Ewan Morrison suffered a brain injury in 2017 from lack of oxygen after a cardiac arrest. Him and his family hiked together to help inform his children about the effects a tragedy can have on a family and how to support others.
So since then I've just been learning to manage that. You learn an awful lot of things that you really had no clue about. And you also learn that a lot of people have desperately worse situations going on. And I think things that can make them feel less human than they used to.
If you missed this year's Big Sky Challenge hike and would like to donate to the program or find resources for a brain injury, you can visit the Brain Injury Alliance website. A little known fact is that Montana bounces between 2nd and 3rd in the nation for brain injury deaths per capita, and about 45,000 Montanans are living with brain injuries.
Well, Montanans, we like to say, we work hard and we play hard, and so it's really, really important to educate people, wear your helmet, wear your seatbelt. Outreach like that can really save lives and can prevent tragedy.
In Kalispell, Kiana Wilson, MTN News.
If you happen to pass by the town of Fort Benton, there's a solid chance you might come across this torn-up keelboat. But it's not just any keelboat. This boat is referred to as the Keelboat Mandan, which overlooks the waters of the Missouri River. And because of its historical significance, work is now being done to help restore what is one of many of Fort Benton's hidden gems. The idea to rebuild the ancient keelboat was brought about by the Fort Benton Community Improvement Association. Based on the classic 1947 novel, The Big Sky, released in 1952, the keelboat played a major role. Filmed in black and white, it passed as fairly authentic. Now, just 70 years later, local volunteers spent the past week rebuilding the historic movie prop.
This worked out just right. I think we made it farther than I thought we would, and we figured out everything that we need to know. There's going to be a couple challenges ahead, but it's just the work, not the understanding how to do it.
But while it may not be a true historic keelboat, this movie prop is a resemblance of the early history of Fort Benton. And by replacing rotten wood and making brand new additions, it is rather just a way of bringing back a piece of old history that will continue to last for generations to come.
So that's why we use the term rebuilding rather than restoring. It's much more than restoring. They're literally rebuilding portions of that boat to get it back to looking like the great symbol of the fur trade era that it is.
The project will be split into 3 phases, each phase taking place during the summer. With phase 1 already complete, they aim to start phase 2 next summer, and depending on the amount of manpower they have contributing to this project, they hope to successfully complete this within the next few years. In Fort Benton, Cade Mentor, MTN News.
Coming up next, what's being done in Helena to help people breathe easy?
MTN Outdoors continues after this. We now return to MTN Outdoors.
It's no secret that I've always thought that breathing was pretty cool. And luckily there's a group in Helena that thinks the same thing. MTN's Tom Buchanan has more.
So far this summer, we've gotten by without too much smoke in the Helena area, something that many of us have been very thankful for. Well, with the potential for a smoky August, Lewis and Clark Public Health wants to remind folks of some practices for clean air in the home. Montanans are all too familiar with the effects of a smoky day, the coughing, wheezing, and just general discomfort from the smoke from a wildfire nearby or miles away. Long periods of exposure to wood smoke can create long-term health problems. That's why it's important to set aside a room, or ideally your whole home, to circulate clean air. A few tips from Lewis and Clark Public Health include closing windows and doors while not blocking exits, and using a damp cloth or mop to clean up any dust particles that have settled on surfaces. Additionally, you want to be using an air filtering system. Ideally, acquiring a HEPA-certified air purifying system for at least one room in your home is a good idea for your health. And escaping the smoke is not only good for your physical health, but also your mental health.
The biggest thing we deal with here are weeks on end of wildfire smoke. You know, if you have a week, 2-3 weeks of being outside in that smoke, that accumulates over time in the body, accumulates in your lungs and causes, long-term issues. So being able to get away from that, not only helps that area, but it helps your mental health. It just gives you a break from that constant.
We'll have a link to more information on how to create a clean air room at home in this story on our website. Reporting in Helena, Tom Buchanan, MTN News.
Well, that should just about do it for us here this week at MTN Outdoors. Thanks for making some time. And remember, if you have any stories about the great outdoors, they don't even have to be good ones. Send me an email at andy.curtis@ktvh.com. And until next week, stay safe, and I'll see you out there.